Let's discover together all the cool new features coming to WordPress 6.7. This new version of WordPress is going to be released on November 12, and so now is the perfect time to dive in. My name is Pascal and I'm the creator of WP Roads, the YouTube channel and the website where I share with you all the latest WordPress news, tutorials and reviews. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. The first thing to mention is the arrival of the 2025 default theme. And when we open the site editor, we see that the Styles tab has a little bit changed. We see all the default variations that we can select here, and this is as it was working also in the previous 6.6 version. But now we have a new cool feature which lets us mix and match color palettes and different typography settings. For example, if I like this style here, but I need to change colors, I can do that right now without having to change all the variation. You see here, I keep my fonts, but I just change my colors in this case. And of course, I can also then click to edit and I can change my colors. But here, the default palettes, they can be changed independently regarding the fonts. The same thing regarding typography. If I want to mix and match different typography, but I want to leave this color palette, I can do so. You see here, this is now possible by doing like this. This is a very, very cool feature. And then if I want to dive deeper, I can click here on edit. And I will see that I have new styles, new settings. The background is a new setting that wasn't there before. And then we also have the typography settings that are much more powerful right now. We can choose all the presets up here as we were doing before, but we can also go and you see here, change fonts right here. We can upload them, we can install new Google fonts if we want, as we were also able to do so before. But now we can also go and change the font size and add some global font size, custom font size. We can go here, you see we have some small, medium, large, extra large and extra large presets that we can also modify if we want. But the cool thing here is that we can add new font size. And we can also use fluid values, which is awesome. We can change them to rem, for example, and we can go here to 1 rem or maybe even a little bit less, 1.8 rem. Same we can do here. The maximum volume we want to be 1.9, and this is gonna be, for example, the very small font. We can rename it extra small. Okay, and then we will find this font usable throughout the website. For example, if we go here and we want to apply this new extra small font, we can click here and we will see that the sides here, extra small font, is available right here. Awesome, extra small, save the font. That's beautiful, you see? Now we have also a new cool feature for groups and patterns that lets us mix and match different style variations. If I select this group, for example, and I go to the Style tab, I see that I have different styles here that I can switch and obtain different layouts. You see here, for example, in this case, I was selecting the main group, but I can apply the same here. And this is pretty cool because you can quickly preview different style of designs in a single click, which is awesome. This is working just with the 2025 theme, and it is something that we can expect to see in many of the new full site editing theme in the future. And this style variation applies also to patterns. This is great because when we go to patterns here and we select, for example, a banner, we want to add this banner here, but let's say that we want to change it a little bit. We can select it, we can go and open here and we can mix and match the styling here, you see? This is awesome. We have much flexibility here and yeah, it is cool. There is also a new small but very, very welcomed improvement, which is this one. When you wanted to create a new page using the WordPress 6.6, we have immediately the pop-up, the modal that show us all the different patterns and layouts that we can add to the page. And this could not be disabled. So each time we create a new page using the default 2024 theme, in this case, we were obliged to click on the X here if we didn't want to use one of these patterns. So now there is a new option. There's a new setting here that you can enable. When you go on page new, in my case, I already disabled it. You can go here. You can scroll to the preferences, okay? And then when we are here, we can disable the show starter patterns. This is great because if you leave it enabled here, each time you create a new page, you will see again this modal here, you see, which is sometimes we do not need to start with a predefined pattern. So this is a very welcomed new feature. Okay, let's go here. Okay, preferences, show starter patterns. No, thank you. Now, when we want to add new patterns, or simply when we want to see our pages and our designs from a zoomed out view, there is a new option, which is this one, which lets us dezoom the page and see the whole picture, the global picture. Let's see what it's all about. We go to patterns, we will add a new pattern right here. Let's say that we want a call to action, for example, and it's gonna be this one. And let's add also featured pattern, this one. Okay, and then let's add header, or let's add an about pattern like this one, for example. And as you see here, the view on the right side, it is already a zoomed out view that lets us play around with patterns. We can select them, we can move them, play around with all the design. This is a cool feature. We can even use this shuffle option here that lets us change the pattern just to see if there is something that we can just choose. We can be inspired like this. Then we can move them, we can drag and drop them if we prefer, or we can also copy, duplicate, or delete the patterns. So this is pretty cool, and we can even filter here the patterns if we want by type or by source, for example. This is kind of cool. And then we can dezoom if we want and see the design in a normal way. But this is really cool. And we can also open here and see the block settings. Of course, here we have just the styling that we can choose to change, and because we have the zoom out view applied, but it is kind of a cool way to see the whole design, to see the big picture here, and be able to mix and match styling, and yes, design our pages like this. I love this new way to design, this new workflow. What do you think about it? Do you like it? And of course here, as soon as we finish to edit our patterns, we can go back to the blocks. We can close here, we can just edit the page, and when we need, we can just enable the zoom out view like this, just to have a big picture view of all we are designing on our page. It's a cool new feature. Now the query loop adds some great enhancements. Here it is easier to use. We can see that we have a drop down here in the case we have multiple post types on our website, and we can choose to filter them for post type, of course. We can order by, we can exclude sticky post, but there is this new slider here that lets us choose how many posts we want to show in the page. You see, this is a new slider that wasn't there before. It was an option that was kind of up here somewhere, hidden somewhere up here, and now it is very visible and clear here into the settings of this query loop block, which is awesome. We can also go and filter, of course, and we can do as always with the query loop. There is also another small improvement. If we change here the name of this block, we rename it, for example, to test loop, we will see that the name now changes not only here in the list view, test loop, you see, as it was already the case in 6.6, but in 6.7 we also have the name updated here in the block inspector and settings. Now let's go and see the improvements in the data view. When we open the site editor and we go to the templates, for example, we see the new data view has different kind of options. The options are now displayed differently. We can choose the layout easily from here, the table and the list. This was a little bit different before. As you see, for example, here I had to click multiple times to reach the list view, table or grid or other stuff here. And now the settings are much more easier to get to. We can change table, you see here, grid and list very easily. And all the other settings are here and are displayed in a very clear way, in a different way. So we can choose to sort by author, we can change the order, we can change also the preview sites, and this is going to be very useful in the future when we will be interacting with all our content through these new data view pages. We can change the number of items per page. We can also change to hide or display some properties, for example, the description, the author. I can hide them or I can show them again right here. Very useful. And the same principle, you can apply them also to pages. For example, when we go here, we can change the view, we can change it to grid, for example, and we can view all our pages like this, or even apply a list. Or this is a cool view because we can preview them on the right side, you see. As I change the page here on the left, we can preview them on the right side. We can jump right in and edit them if we want. but we can also filter them if we want per author, per status, and so on. And the very interesting thing here is also that we can go and enable the grid. And yeah, it was in the table view. I was very impressed by the fact that we can change, for example, the order here of the columns. It is very flexible. You see here, we can move around stuff, and we can even hide or show things. For example, if the author column, we do not need them, we can hide it like this, and we can have, yeah, it is very, very easy to navigate. And when we have a lot of pages and a lot of data on our website, this is gonna be the go-to things to do when we need to manage them. It is awesome. I liked it. I like the new data view improvements. From here, we can even quickly access revisions. We can rename pages, we can reorder them, we can move to trash and edit or view them simply. Very easy and straightforward. Now, when we upload photos directly from our iPhone, so when we use the format HEIC and the format HEIF, they will be automatically converted to JPG, but keep in mind that this will happen only if in your server there is ImageMagick installed. So in some hosting configurations, this might not work. Now in WordPress 6.6, we could already drag and drop some images from the desktop to our pages, but there is a new cool feature now. If we drag and drop multiple images, there's gonna be a gallery automatically created for us. Now I drag and drop here some pictures, and as you can see here, there is a gallery that has been created. These are some pictures that I took to create a thumbnail for my YouTube videos, and you see, they're being uploaded and the gallery is automatically created right here. And there is also a new small improvement here. If we select an image and we go and click on the link here, we see that there is this expand on click, which is awesome. And we can publish then, we can go and visit the page. And when we go and click on the picture, okay, here, we see that there is this new beautiful cool effect, this light modal effect. Very, 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 very interesting and beautiful to be applied to our galleries. Now we have also another improvement regarding the lazy loaded images. Now, if the images are not appearing in the first part of the page, all the other images are being lazy loaded. And this is already there since some older version of WordPress. But now all the images that are below the fold, like this one here, when you click here and inspect them, you will see that there is a new attribute which is called auto. You see here, sizes auto, this is the new attribute. And basically this improves the way that your pages loads, and it will improve the usability of your website because they will load faster. Now there are also many design settings that were not supported by many blocks before that now have been added. So for example, the button here, if I say click here and I go to the settings design, I see that there are new design settings here that wasn't there before. For example, the padding, the border and shadow. For example, you see here, I can change the border if I want. I can change the border color, and these settings were not there before. So very much welcome also this new improvement. And this kind of setting has been added also to many other blocks. For example, in the column block, we can now go inside the columns and we can enable the settings that are about the border radius that wasn't there before. So here we can go to design, and finally we have the border radius inside the columns. This is awesome. Of course here we don't see it because there is no border applied, but if we go here and we improve here, tac tac, this is a column with a border applied. And these design settings have been added to many blocks. There is also a new feature which is about background images. We can now add background images to the post content or to the quote, for example. If we go to the quote, we can create interesting design by using the background photo. For example, we go here, we select the quote, we go to the background image. You see, this is a new supported feature. We can open the image from the media library. For example, we can insert a book here, and we can also change the settings of the picture. For example, we can go and yeah, we can place it differently. Contain, for example, or like this. Cover would be interesting, and so we can create cool designs like this one. This is not very cool, but it gets the idea. You see, we can enable the background image on the quote, on the post content, and on the verse. There is also now a new support for the group shadow. If we group, for example, here, this one here, and we go into the style, we scroll down here, we finally have shadow support here. This wasn't possible before, but now it is possible, and we can apply different shadow presets to our groups This is awesome. Now in the list view, we can also apply different colors to the different list items. For example, here, if I go to the style tab, I see that, oh, there's no style tab, but there is this color tab here directly. I can even change the link colors if I want to, and I can go here and yeah, it's quite interesting here, this design flexibility that we have right now. You see, we can change the colors of the different list items. And we can even apply single different borders. You see here, this first list item has a border. We can change the border color if we want. And it kind of gives us quite a great flexibility. We can also change the padding here and we can increase it like this. This kind of gets cool when we want to create some lists about pricing or other stuff that we want to showcase in a creative way. Now another cool improvement is about meta boxes. When we open the page here, you see that there is this new field here, down here, which is displayed differently than before. Because when we were in WordPress 6.6, for example, when we go inside a page, let me check here, for example, if I go into a test page, this one, edit page, the meta box here was not showing here down below the page, and in this case, of course, it is not showing because I do not have meta boxes. Let me check here if I can enable some of them. Okay, perfect. Show and reload the page, and as you can see here, in order to be able to see all the meta boxes at the end of the page, if we had some very large pages, for example, let me add some patterns here. We will add a call to action and a few more stuff inside the page. And when we go inside the page, you see all the meta boxes are just at the end. So we need to scroll down, and if we had some custom fields or some other plugins that added some meta boxes down here, it was kind of tricky to go always down here and then scroll up, down, up here and modify the page and so on. So now it is easier because all the meta boxes, when we edit the page, are really handy and easy to reach, you see, because they are still visible, but they are always visible on the page, basically. So you see here, you can edit the page, you can go and tweak around stuff, and if you need to, let's say, edit a custom field, in this case, you open this meta box, you can drag and drop here the dimensioning, and you can change the values, and you can basically scroll to the part of the page where you are using these values and see the changes immediately. This is great. So I like this. And of course, if you decide to place it like this, okay, let's say like this, and you save, the next time you open a new page, there will be this setting here already saved. So all the meta boxes will show like this. If you do not want them to be here, you just drag and drop here and they are hidden. Beautiful. I like this new improvement. There is also a new improvement in WordPress 6.7 regarding dynamic data, and in particular the way that we connect custom fields to the editor. In this case, for example, I created a custom post type which is called book, and if I go to the single settings here, for example in the paragraph or in a title or in an image, I can apply dynamic data visually using the attributes field that has been added right here, that is called attributes, you see here. So this is pretty interesting. So you can go here, for example, in the book title, you can go to the attributes and you will be able here to see content and to select the various custom fields that you can just bind and link to this block in this case. And this is kind of pretty awesome. As you can see here, there are some custom fields, book author, book title, and the value. And here in the content attributes, you can see and link between, you can link the blocks, for example, here a paragraph to the author in this case, or another paragraph to the book title, and so on. So this is kind of a first step towards a more intuitive UI that we can use to create dynamic templates and link dynamic data just inside the block editor. This is awesome. Let's hope that it will evolve in this direction and become even more powerful. Now, if you think like me that WordPress has become very powerful with this new 6.7 version, just go and subscribe to my full site editing academy. There is a wishlist, no, there is a wishlist. There is a waitlist open right now. And I think I will launch soon this new project because I love it. It is called Goodmorning Gutenberg, and I will teach you how to create professional websites using just Gutenberg, the default block editor, and the 2025 theme. Subscribe here. I hope to see you in my courses and live lessons that I will keep in this academy. See you soon. Ciao.